everybody, and welcome back to the Saltcast. We are back. I'm here with my two co-hosts, as always, Bert and Sebastian.
The name's Bert.
Normally, this week would be our continuation of the Halo series, but we felt like there was a lot of other, more relevant things going on that we wanted to talk about, and we didn't want to wait another week to get to them. So we're gonna push the Halo thing back another week, so that will be next week, and talk about what's going on right now. So this episode's going to kind of be about a little bit about HellDivers. We mentioned that before in our last episode, so we'll give our thoughts on that. We've all been playing it, and we've all watched a little bit of the new Avatar The Last Airbender, the live-action show on Netflix that just came out about a week ago. So we're going to do that.
Yeah.
Should be fun. What do you guys... I don't really have any news, actually. Didn't really have a chance to really see what was going on, so I actually don't have any for once. So I'm in the Burt boat this time.
I have stuff that I forgot to say last time that I could say, because I actually also don't have news.
Holy crap, everybody's a Burt this time.
I have one really big one that I forgot last time.
Okay, go ahead and give that then.
Burt.
Yes.
I actually think you mentioned this, but we didn't go into depth on it for some reason. I don't remember why, but the whole Funimation thing.
Yeah.
So
I think it's worth talking about.
Yeah, I don't know why we forgot. So
because it sets a precedent.
Basically, in the anime world, there really was I guess 3 main places to watch anime: Crunchyroll,
legally,
Crunchyroll, Funimation, and HellDive. And honestly, HellDive has always been shit, so no one really cares about HellDive. God, I hate HellDive.
Yeah, me too. It's the worst UI.
But they have decent exclusives.
Yeah, they do.
But anyways, 2 or 3 years ago now, Funimation was acquired by, I think it's Sony actually, right?
Yeah, it is.
And Sony also owns Crunchyroll. So during the last couple years, they've been merging Funimation and Crunchyroll.
It started with small stuff, exclusives would come to Crunchyroll, and for a while they kind of kept it separate.
It actually started out super hype because back in the day, Crunchyroll was exclusively subbed anime. There used to never be dubbed on it. And then once they acquired Funimation does a lot of the dubbing in anime. So then all the shows, not all of them, but the majority of the shows on Crunchyroll, at least the ones that have dubs, ended up getting the dub on Crunchyroll as well, which was super exciting. That's what actually made me get Crunchyroll. I didn't have Crunchyroll until they did that.
Interesting.
So that was cool at first, but then there's been some issues now in the last maybe month or two. It's been a little bit since this happened. Both are subscription services. Were, because Funimation no longer exists. So they had this thing where everyone who had Funimation subscriptions or things like that were moved over to Crunchyroll, whatever. That's fine. This is something that I think people are throwing out of whack here, because people just like to see something and be like, oh, this is terrible, but not actually look at what it really means. Because people were saying, well, Crunchyroll ended up putting out this thing, and they're existing Funimation subscribers, because Funimation's shutting down now. They've been moving the Funimation shows over, but they haven't shut down Funimation yet, and now Funimation is shutting down. So they're existing Funimation subscribers will be moved over to a Crunchyroll subscription. Here is the price of a Crunchyroll subscription. And then I've seen a bunch of people being oh, this is bullshit with what they were saying. And this is what I was saying. I think is a bit stupid of them to say it like that, because they're Crunchyroll's here's the price of our Crunchyroll subscription. You'll be moved from HellDive. People are oh, they're just increasing our subscription price for no reason. or something like that. Like,
okay.
they're like, they're increasing the price of all Funimation users, but they're actually not exactly. It's kind of more complicated than that.
Because they're getting a new service.
They're just giving, like, Funimation was cheaper than Crunchyroll. Now they're paying the Crunchyroll subscription instead of the Funimation subscription.
Because now they're getting Funimation plus Crunchyroll.
Kinda. But, like, there was this, like, it was crazy. I couldn't believe it. All the news was, like, that I was seeing, people were like, Crunchyroll is raising its subscription price, but it's not. The people that were on Funimation moving to Crunchyroll are paying more than they were before because Crunchyroll is more expensive than Funimation.
They're just paying the normal price.
But, like, if you had Crunchyroll, nothing changes. You're paying the same. But people are saying Crunchyroll is raising its subscription price, but it's not.
I see.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, the Funimation people really, they do pay a little more now because it's just more expensive than the old one, but...
No, they do, but I saw, like, a bunch of art. I even saw... It's funny to bring this up. Two freaking pods in a row about IGN bodying themselves. I even saw an IGN thing. It was Crunchyroll raises its subscription price. But that's not what happened. The actual Crunchyroll subscription is the same price. It's just it is more than Funimation was. So the people moving over...
Yeah, and now that the Funimation's going away, they have to pay the Crunchyroll price because that's what they're using now.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. Now,
really, if they really wanted to body people, they would just increase the price of everything because you're technically getting more with the two combining.
Well, here's where it gets troll, though. There are a couple ways
increase the price and keep.
There are a couple ways they are bodying people. So they automatically switch your Funimation subscription to Crunchyroll, but they don't switch it to the cheapest Crunchyroll subscription.
Yeah, that's a little toxic.
So they give you, like, the pro tier that is more expensive. So then, like, if you had Funimation, you now, I think after a year, you'll start paying this Crunchyroll price, but you got to go in there and change it to the lower one if you don't want the pro version.
Yeah, that is slightly annoying.
And then,
I would think.
Your ownership.
The other thing was Funimation also sold, like, digital movies for download and stuff like that. Not actually for download, for stream.
They sold the distribution
so
rights.
you could buy, I don't know, Spirited Away probably was on there. I don't actually know what movies were on there, but for example, if you buy a movie, you will, like, watch it. Just like, you can interrupt me again?
Never. No.
So, for example, it's like similar to how you would buy, like, a movie on iTunes, right?
Yeah.
Those do not transfer over. And so that's something that I think sucks, but I also think is blown out a little more than it was. I think that, like, they should have... What they really should have done was just made it so you could download them and then not move them over, you know?
Yeah, I guess that would be more better.
I get kinda, but I also think it is kind of a big deal because this is one time it happens, but I think going forward you should consider things that you own digitally you really don't own, like with stopping a company from being sold that you like. Let's say if you own something on Amazon Video and they sell rights or whatever, or they change, or you know what I mean, something changes and then all of a sudden you can't access movies you once owned.
Yeah,
because of background stuff that you can't even control.
Well, that's why
that's true.
That's why I think digital things should be available for you to download, because then it wouldn't matter.
And then the problem with that gets raised with downloading is then it makes it, then you have to do like DRM management, and then if that ever goes away, or if it's cloud-based, which nowadays everything's cloud-based, if servers that authenticate DRM go away, then there goes your ability to watch what you downloaded.
Yeah, I mean, that's just assuming all DRM is cloud-based. There's definitely ways to do it without cloud-basing it.
Like, I guess they did it on normal CDs and stuff back then.
Like, I mean, yeah, it would definitely be hard, but personally, I think the, like, middle ground solution is to have some sort of reasonable non-cloud-based DRM and just let people download their stuff.
The thing is, yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
It wasn't terrible.
Because, like, even if they wanted to, for example, move everything over, like let you still stream movies you bought on Crunchyroll. I'm assuming they don't want you to, but assuming, like, let's say they do, there's probably like so many like licensing complications that just make it for some movies not even possible.
No, and I know, and it stinks that it happens, but you should, like, I feel like it's it's something to think about when you're buying stuff digitally.
Yeah, you should definitely be
like,
aware of it.
maybe this could one day not be available to me anymore.
Oh yeah, that's definitely
You're
true.
sacrificing the physical ownership over a convenience.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with you there. It's like, for example, Steam, right? Like, we could lose all our Steam games that aren't downloaded or any online
We
games.
put our money into Steam, trusting that they'll be there whenever we want to play games.
I keep all my games downloaded. I mean, obviously, it won't matter for online games, but I mean, if that's like, it's the same thing, you know, when servers for games go offline, they're useless now.
No, but even now, some of your Steam account, like if Steam were to go away and your account were to be gone, there would be no servers to check if you own the game or not, which does happen whenever you want.
You can go into the
Unless
files and launch
offline.
the EXEs. Like, you can play any single player Steam game.
Does that bypass the ownership check though?
Yeah, you can play games offline. It's the same thing. You can use, as long as it's not a game that has, you know, an online only type of game. Obviously, you can't play an online game offline.
Yeah, that's true. No, I knew that, obviously.
But like, if I wanted to play, for example, with Spider-Man, I can just, if I have it downloaded, I can play it.
Maybe, but I think like there's background like DRM stuff that Steam does on their servers.
Yeah, but you can play it offline.
Yeah, I know, but I'm saying, like, could you play offline a year after it being offline? Like, is there an expiration date on your authentication? Or what happens if you wanted to change it to a different computer and then whatever authenticator was on that one PC isn't on the new one and there's no new server to ping to?
Well, the like other computer thing is possible, but I know that like no matter how long you're offline, you can play a game you have downloaded. I don't know about moving it to another computer though.
Yeah, that's the only like concern. And I'm like, these are just what ifs. It's just, I don't know, stuff I think about sometimes because I'm paranoid.
Yeah, but you probably should think about it, like you said, with any digital.
That's why I've been collecting movies.
Yeah,
because like it's nice to have the CDs because streaming isn't always available.
Yeah, that's
sometimes
true.
A movie is a
you go
DVD,
on Netflix and you try to find a movie.
CD is audio only.
In my head, I know there's a difference. It's the same. They physically look the same though.
Some of them are blue.
It's
if it's
physical
Blu-ray.
media.
Okay, whatever.
But yeah, that's my point. That's all I just wanted to bring up. That it's nice to own what you own because you never know.
I agree.
If
like
goes
if you're
away.
buying something digitally, at least like know you're putting yourself out there.
Yeah, you're trusting your company. You're trusting the company that you're buying the game through.
But like, let's move on.
Well, okay. I guess I won't finish.
Well, make your last point.
Your thought. I want to hear it.
I was just saying, like, for specifically movies, I feel like that is one that is a bit more like what is the place to buy your stuff digitally for it to be the safest? And I guess that would probably be like Amazon and maybe Apple.
Yeah, I would say so.
Those would be like
probably.
the most likely to stick around.
Yeah, the only fear though is that they could stick around, but if they lose the rights to a show you bought, there goes that show.
Yeah, that's true.
Or they sell it for whatever reason.
Yeah, that's always a possibility.
Yeah, well, point is, kind of sucks for those people that lost their movies, but buying a movie on Funimation, you kind of played yourself.
Yeah.
All right, what's HellDivers now? Or are we doing
well,
Avatar?
what do you guys want to start with? Which one? HellDivers or Avatar? Do you guys have a preference?
Avatar will be quick because Bert's only seen one episode.
All right.
Yeah, we'll just knock it out real
We
quick.
can do Avatar. Okay, so Avatar The Last Airbender, the live action adaptation is out. It's all the episodes are available. I think it's 8 episodes, all on Netflix. What were your guys' like initial thoughts? Like, What'd you think right off the bat? Bert, you saw the first episode, so you have like real initial thoughts. I saw the whole thing already, so mine's a little bit different probably.
I've seen up to 7.
I didn't think it was terrible. I kind of enjoy it sometimes.
Yeah.
But I don't know how much of that is from nostalgia.
That's what I was saying.
Or how much of it's from...
Yeah.
Because I was like
actually
do I
good
like
show.
this, or am I just like liking it because all of the massive missing chunks have been filled in the show?
Mm-hmm.
Kind of like you with Percy
That's how
Jackson.
That's exactly what I was about to say. I was thinking back too, especially after the last recording when Percy Jackson. I was like, I wonder how much of that show I just enjoyed because of nostalgia, especially after hearing your guys like all the confusion and stuff.
Yeah.
And then I think like, do I just an example? I'm like, do I like this Katara, or do I just like her because I like her because I like Katara? You know?
Yeah, the character. Yeah.
Well, at least the actress is more regionally accurate.
Yeah, I don't think that really matters when they're all bad, except Zuko.
All right,
and Sokka.
let's talk about that. The actors. What did you guys think of that? Like,
Good
we'll
Lord.
start with Aang. What do you guys think of Aang?
I think Aang's the worst one.
I think so too. I think he might be the worst one. His look is good. He has the look, but some of the line delivery that he has is horrible.
Have either of you ever seen? I bet you're not gonna get this, but whatever, it's hilarious. Have either of you ever seen Malcolm in the Middle?
Yes.
Yeah,
Really? Like the whole thing?
Not all of it.
not the whole thing.
Okay,
I've
well,
seen
whatever.
episodes.
Dude, Aang sounds exactly like Dewey.
Oh my gosh.
And he
Kind
has
of,
the
yeah.
Maybe
ears.
later.
Have you seen the memes of like, I remember thinking it to myself when I was watching the show. I was like, dang, he's got like, this like, why is this reminding me of something?
Dude has Aang ears.
It's like, why is this reminding me of something? And then like a couple days later, I saw like a Aang Dewey meme, and I was like, holy shit, that is literally true. But then it like, it made me realize like, because I don't think Dewey is a bad actor, but I think Aang's a bad actor. So then I was like, why is that? And it's because Dewey in the show is like a sarcastic asshole, and that's like the tone of voice that Aang uses in the show, and that's totally not what Aang is.
Yeah.
Aang comes across as like really kind of condescending in a way. Like he doesn't believe what he's saying. It seems like almost like it seems very unnatural for him to be saying the things that he says. At least that's how it like is delivered, in my opinion.
Also, this might be a smaller thing, but I think it's insane. Why can he just fly? Like, that's crazy.
Yeah.
I didn't think he was really flying. He was more like
Maybe
falling
he was using
with
his
like
airbending to just to lower himself.
yeah, he was like falling with style.
No, he was flying, and I specifically remember like in Avatar, I can't remember if it was a show or one of the books, but like
It was
in
Korra.
lore, they're like only 2 airbenders in the history of ever have been good enough to fly using airbending. It's an incredible feat.
Yeah, because-
and then like this freaking baby's doing it without even effort.
Yeah, in Legend of Korra, I think his name is Zahir. He learned how to fly.
Yeah, so it's like an incredible.
It's a big thing because it requires complete detachment from like all things earthly. I remember it was like a whole thing.
and yes, you're right. It does require you to be like completely detached. That's why Aang could never do it, because he never detached
Because
from
he-
Katara and Sokka and all his friends.
And
And
probably
his
just
avatar
learning
duty and his avatar duties kept him bound.
Yeah. And just being an earthbender, you would have to have some sort of attachment to the earth.
Yeah, but like, I don't. Obviously, they're not into the deep lore, but
Yeah, that's a nitpick, if anything, but it is a little weird.
Well, I mean it kind of matters because it's established that he can only fly with his glider.
yeah, it makes his glider seem pointless when he can just fly. But then, like, occasionally, there are some scenes where he just can't fly, but some where he can.
Yeah, because then it kind of makes it a big deal when like a firebender knocks his glider out of his hand or something, and it's like he's trying to get away, but he's trying to like get the stick to fly away.
Yeah.
But now he can just
Yeah,
fly
it makes
away.
it that, I guess this is a later episode, but there's an episode where I'm like, why does he not just fly over that wall?
Oh, I know what you're talking about.
Oh,
Yeah.
when he gets kidnapped.
Yeah.
Yeah, actually, yeah. What do you guys think of the costume design? Did you guys like that?
I think it's usually good, with only a couple that are a little bit too like fake looking.
I think Momo looks weird.
I think the absolute peak is the Kyoshi Warriors.
Oh yeah, Bert, wait till you see that. The Kyoshi Warriors episode is fucking peak.
I saw a picture online and I'm kind of excited.
And Avatar Kyoshi, oh my gosh, that whole scene with her is awesome.
Yeah, it's probably good because Aang's not in it as much as the other episodes.
You think they will make a spin-off for like a Kyoshi show?
After seeing that episode, I would be in for it.
Because, I mean, think about it, too. I feel like Avatar Kyoshi was darker than Aang.
Oh, yeah, definitely. You'll see it in the episode.
It would definitely feel like it would fit the Netflix platform.
In lore, Kyoshi's the strongest Avatar there's ever been.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's Kyoshi and then Aang and Roku.
I think it's part of that is because Kyoshi was like more of a warrior anyway. So
Yeah,
like she just did more
people.
incredible things because she chose to do that. There's probably been other avatars that could have, but they just took different paths.
I mean, look how badass the Kyoshi Warriors are without bending. She can do all that plus bend plus all the elements.
Yeah.
Yeah. Plus Avatar State.
Oh yeah, Avatar State is crazy. But I like the costumes and everything. I feel like they nailed the whole look of the world and everything.
Yeah,
all
specifically
of that works for
so
me.
far it feels
the
good.
sets
Though I've only
are
seen
god tier
little.
always.
Yeah, they do have really good sets. And there's no CGI that like completely takes me out of it. At least that I noticed on my first like watch through of it.
There is an occasional bad green screen, but
yeah, there are a couple, but it didn't really ever take me out. It was usually focused on other things. They do a good job hiding.
yeah, but like the cities, you know, like Omashu or this water tribe or Kyoshi Island, like they all look so awesome.
Yeah, they do.
How do the animals look?
Pretty good.
Yeah, actually, yeah, I would say they're good. I've never saw one and I thought that looked bad.
Yeah. Honestly, the ones that do look the worst, probably, because you do see some other animals, is probably Appa and Momo. But I think that's just because they're on screen so much more.
Weird.
Yeah.
I feel like Appa would be hard, though. Appa seemed like he'd be hard to make look good.
Appa
It's just
is
when they're like
literally
close
like
to him.
Appa is so rarely in the show.
Yeah.
It's a shame. There's no like moment when he's a samurai.
That's like in season 3.
No, there's none of that.
Oh yeah, I forgot. That was pretty foreign.
But
I like that episode though.
this isn't like really a spoiler, but this whole first season is book 1 basically. Well, not basically, it is.
I'd assume.
Yeah, which I thought was pretty cool. They do.
Did it feel super rushed?
At the end, I thought it did. I thought it rushed at the end, but I remember in the original show also feeling like it rushed at the end.
Yeah, well, it kind of got resolved pretty quick once the solution was presented.
And the romance at the end with Yue and Sokka at the end did not work, but it didn't work in the other show either for me.
Yeah, I thought it was just okay in the show, but it did bring a great joke for season 3 when he's like, "That's rough, buddy."
Yeah, but the romance between Suki and Sokka in that one episode, that one worked.
Good.
That one worked. For some reason, I just believed that one way more.
Even though Suki's only
This is the one that matters.
Even though Suki's only in one episode in season 1, she's like a top 4 character, top 3 even.
Yeah, she was good. And she was like weird too. Like there's a moment where she's like, you can tell she's like never interacted with people.
Yeah,
and she's just
awkward.
like staring. She's really
That's
awkward,
cool.
but it works in a way.
That's the thing they didn't even do in the show.
Yeah.
Or in the cartoon.
There are some things that they like everything that's new and that they added. I think this might be my nostalgia or my like appreciation for the world of Avatar.
Yeah,
but I liked all the new stuff.
Yeah, because you're like, oh shit, and then but then it's like you're just, at least for me, it's like you're imagining this scene, but with the real characters,
the cartoon filter.
Yeah, so it's kind of like weird. So
like,
it's a really weird way to like kind of critique it.
Yeah, like for example, for me at least, bro, you don't mind if I mention things from?
No, I mean I know the plot of the show.
Yeah,
It runs basically exactly the same.
For me,
yeah.
no, it doesn't. For me at least, though,
The big
episode
parts
4,
do.
not really. Episode 4,
Just like the Percy
Oh my
Jackson
God.
changes, I promise you.
episode
Sorry.
4 is my favorite episode. I thought it was great. So there's 2 additional scenes that were not in the original show that I thought were like peak so good. There's a scene where obviously, you know, Iroh's son dies and all that.
Yeah.
So there's a scene where Zuko comes up and talks to Iroh at his son's funeral. That is so good.
Yeah, it's like a flashback. It is
cool.
good. They do a really good job of the Zuko-Iroh relationship. It's super good.
Yeah.
Well, that's one of the most important relationships.
Mhm.
Yeah, that one's believable for sure.
And then there's another
It's definitely the best relationship in the show, probably.
Yeah. And then there's another one where after Zuko gets banished and he's like getting on his ship to leave, Iroh like comes up to him and he's like, "What are you doing here?" He's like, "I'm coming with you." And he's like, "What? You can't come with me. You'll never be able to come back." Or I can't remember the exact words. And he's like, "Nah, everything I need's already here."
Aw,
Yeah, it was good. There's some
that
good
sounds
moments.
just like him.
Yeah.
There's also
And I wasn't on board with the Iroh actor at first, but he won me over, I think.
I think episode 4 is what changed it for me.
Yeah. But it's just hard because the original voice actor is just so iconic.
Yeah.
Yeah, his voice is pretty ingrained
Yeah.
in my childhood.
And
Yeah, me
Bert,
too.
at the scene where Zuko is talking to Iroh at his son's funeral, leaves from the vine place.
I'm happy they did that.
Yeah.
It's so
But
good.
I was going
And
to
I remember
say
the first time I heard that song.
Leaves from the vine.
He starts breaking down
But-
halfway through it.
Like you mentioned the acting earlier.
Mm-hmm.
I really think like there are some that are like passable. Like I think Iroh's passable. I think Katara gets better towards the end. But like
Yeah.
as far as good, Zuko and Sokka are like the only ones that are good.
yeah, I
think
agree.
Suki's
Zuko and
good, but
Sokka
she's
are
not
the
really in it
best.
enough for me to know for sure. I think she's good though.
Yeah.
But Zuko
General Zhao is pretty good too.
yeah.
Ozai's good. He's not in it like a ton, but he's good.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
But Team Avatar, specifically Katara and Aang, are like the two weakest.
Yeah. And I've seen
But they're also
That's
the
a shame.
youngest.
like
Maybe they'll get better with season 2.
yeah,
Yeah.
maybe. It's weird though because it's like I almost feel like there's way more emphasis put on Zuko than there is on like Team Avatar, which isn't like terrible, but it's like it almost feels like we're skipping all of the Team Avatar stuff for more Zuko time.
That's one thing I was going to complain. I don't know if it's a complaint because all the Zuko stuff I like, and maybe I can let it go because I know what Team Avatar is like, and they mention things that they did
Yeah.
in the show, but
Like,
they just don't show them.
There's for like I think it's after episode 4. There's like a miniature time skip where they're like, "Man, remember when we went across that canyon or something like that?"
Yeah, and those like rock crawlers or something they
Okay,
mentioned.
I'm actually okay with that being cut
I
out
hate
because that episode annoyed
That
me.
episode sucks. But I'm just saying, like, there are things that I don't know, like
Like there's things that happen in the cartoon that happen in the background in the show that they get mentioned but just don't get explicitly shown.
it's not even
Yes.
yes, but it's just I don't know. It feels like it feels like there's no growth in like the main team. And then
Yeah,
like when you
okay.
are getting time with them, they're usually all separated doing something on their own.
Yeah. One thing I didn't have any belief in, or like that it just wasn't shown enough, was Aang and Katara's relationship. There's like nothing between them. Like I'm not even talking like romantically or anything. I just mean like they barely talk to each other, it seems like, till like the last episode. Like I would barely know that they're friends, it seems. I feel like him and Sokka are better friends almost.
Part of me wants to make the argument that it kind of sucks that the acting isn't as solid. But at the same time, it's not like they have to deliver super serious lines and stuff, you know? Or
No, that's the thing. That's why it's actually not very good, because there is so many more. I think there's really good writing actually, and there is serious lines and serious like dialogues happening, but they're just like not believable, specifically from Aang, at least.
Did they make the show feel more serious in season 1 than the cartoon?
I think so, but just because they skipped some of those unserious things, you know?
I think they miss
Yeah.
a lot of Aang, like
But I feel like that unserious episodes kind of help smooth Aang out and kind of helped establish that kidness to him.
that's what I was
Yeah.
gonna say. I feel like they don't make it feel like Aang is trying to delay his Avatar stuff and just do fun things at all, really.
Yeah, did he do that? Did he open up when he was like about to set out? Like, we're gonna go over here and surf on the back.
He
of the
doesn't.
Kyoshi
He does
fish.
0 things that are fun ever.
He goes. He rides in the carts with Boomy. That's about it.
Yeah, but Boomy wants to, and Aang is like, I guess.
To me, that's kind of important because Aang's like what, 12?
Yeah.
And and what 12-year-old can I mean, yeah, he's a monk and he's an air master or whatever, but you can't deny that like a 12-year-old's really gonna want to go off and fight in a war, and especially if he ran away from home.
Oh
Yeah.
it's
Like, I don't think he pops out of the iceberg ready to assume responsibility for something he was running away from.
I agree with you.
Especially because he thinks it's still the same day. Like, he thinks maybe it's been a night or two, not 100 years.
Yeah.
Something that I wanted to mention actually though, like you were saying with the team doesn't feel great, but Zuko feels good. I also feel like the world itself feels great. Like, I hate to bring up future episodes again, but whatever. We're just going to make this the Avatar full thing, I guess. So, do you remember in the show, Bert, the original show, when Iroh gets kidnapped by some earthbenders?
Yeah.
So, that scene is pretty much here. I actually think they improved that scene, to be honest, from the animated show. Like, there's this, like, conversation that Iroh has with this earthbender that was, like, part of the people defending at Ba Sing Se when he was attacking Ba Sing Se back in his day, and it's pretty sad.
Yeah, it is.
Cool. I don't want to know specifics, but
Yeah, I'm not
that is
gonna.
cool.
I can't quote it anyways. I'm just saying that they make like non-main, like just side people like feel more real, I guess.
Well,
The
they
world
flesh out
feels
the
real.
story
Yeah.
more in the world, and they bring up events through like NPCs, so to speak. Or
Yeah.
Yeah.
civilians.
And-
they bring up big events.
And I feel like they actually make it feel like the war is more like tragic than the original show did.
yeah, the only time you really see the effects of the war
That
is when
episode,
Zuko.
no, that episode with what's his name? The guy that isn't supposed to earthbend, and like his whole village of earthbenders got stolen, and
Oh yeah,
that's
that episode.
and Zuko
But even
alone.
like later on, yeah, when he's alone, like in the later seasons.
Yeah, that's a good one too.
That's the only time I really remember. With the like,
I agree.
maybe one or
Yeah,
two
those are like the
exceptions.
two that stick out. Maybe the Jet
Yeah.
episode.
The Jet episode or the one when Boomy liberates.
Yeah, but that's at the end, like when the war is full.
Mm-hmm.
But I feel like in this, like it's very regular that people are like their lives are shitty because of the war,
Yeah, there's definitely a lot of that.
That's a cool touch.
and then Aang
And
just
it's pretty
doesn't
cool
care.
because I feel like what
He
they're trying to
cares.
do is they're trying to make the show darker, because you can only make a kid show that goes on Nickelodeon so dark. So I feel like now that it's on Netflix, they were given a bit more freedom and being able to bring up the war and
Yeah.
things like that.
I mean, you literally see people burned alive.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah, like it makes it more adult, which is cool because for people like us that grew up with the show, and it's cool to see the flushed out stuff.
Yeah. I think
But
that's
it
why I like it.
stinks because it subtracts, or at least it's sounding like it subtracts from a lot of the important like character growth moments. And
It does and it doesn't. Like individually the characters work, but it's when it's just like Team Avatar that doesn't work for me.
yeah, well that matters because it like the group figuring out their dynamics was a part of them all growing. Like Sokka becoming a leader and figuring out his place in Team Avatar was a pretty important part.
Yo, that's
Yeah.
something actually. I feel like Sokka gets robbed of a lot of his moments from the original show in this.
That's a shame too, because damn.
Every time,
I don't
like
know.
when you think back to the big Sokka moments, like the Jet episode where he
Mhm.
saves the village, like that doesn't happen in the show.
Yeah. That's a shame.
Yeah.
Because again, it's pretty cool to see a guy that can't bend be a hero.
Which sucks because Sokka
It adds
is
that sense of relatability.
Sokka's the best character in this show on Team Avatar. Like he's probably the most interesting one on that team.
Yeah. I think he is, yeah. I think he's the most interesting, definitely. Katara, though, by the end is pretty good. I liked a lot of the stuff that they did with Katara at the end.
It almost feels like that section that they're like, oh, remember when we fought those pirates and crossed that canyon? Like that's when they bonded and we missed it.
Yes, I definitely agree.
Yeah, that kind of was their falling out and hey, we're cool with each other.
Yeah. I think that there is some things too, like that they did in the spirit world that they could have used to like bring the group together. But they kind of, again, they just separate them all the time and they experience their own trauma and stuff. So like they grow individually, but not as a group.
Yeah. Which is a shame.
Yeah.
I feel like the group aspect was a pretty important aspect of the original.
Definitely, yeah.
But you know what somehow is a good group that they improved on? Freaking Zuko and his crew. That shit is expanded and awesome.
Yeah, there's
cool.
little expansions to that like completely make it 10 times better.
Like the crew on his ship?
Yeah.
Yeah. There's like one major character. He's not major. He's a side character at best. But it's just a little thing that they'd added that it's like, wow, it adds another layer to Zuko's character.
Like rapport.
There was like,
yeah.
I get it.
this is probably, I'm not going to say it exactly. I think it's in episode 5 or 6. I can't remember, but the Zuko returning to the ship scene, that's the best scene in the whole show for me.
It's up there for me. I don't know if it's the best, but it's up there.
That was amazing. It really is.
Good.
Every time Zuko's on screen, it freaking peaks.
It does.
It's funny.
And
Yeah.
honestly, like, he even kind of sounds like Zuko, which is really
There's
cool.
There's moments where it happens. Yeah, I'm like, wow, that sounded like him.
The Zuko actor, great choice. He is so good.
Sokka too.
Yeah, but he just doesn't have as much screen time.
Yeah, he doesn't get enough.
And even when he
done.
does have screen time, he doesn't really do anything. Like, I'm so sad they skipped. Like, he didn't even make the balloons.
Yeah, he did.
Not really.
I mean, they show that they say that he did.
Okay, I guess they.
But that was such a cool moment in the show.
He has a
him,
moment.
like,
He does have
having
a
his
moment.
Eureka moments.
Oh,
He does
yeah.
have a moment with the Mechanist, though. That
Yeah,
it's
actually-
like he does have it.
I did like
think he
that.
did.
I won't say exactly because I don't want to spoil it for you, but I did like that conversation he had where like they ended up telling him that thing, and he had this. I felt like was super believable, and then when he talked to Katara about it, that was a good scene.
Yeah, that was good. Actually, that relationship worked a lot. Katara and Sokka, they had enough moments together, the two of them, the brother-sister thing, that it worked pretty well.
Yeah, I agree.
And it was
At least
like
we got
one
that
moment
right.
specifically that it really like sealed it for me. I was like, okay. Actually, there's like two. There's probably two really, really good moments between the two of them.
There's one that I didn't like though. There's like one scene where like they're arguing and Sokka tells Katara to grow up, which I think is ridiculous because in the original show, Sokka would always tell Aang constantly how he's like, yep, Katara like basically did everything I couldn't and I couldn't do anything without her. Like
Yeah.
he was pretty open about that. He was like, she basically stepped up after their mom died and saved him.
Yeah. That part didn't really bother me. I'm trying to think of the show as somebody who didn't see any of Avatar. So I'm trying to think of the parts that would bother me. And I think the one thing or the few things that I would point to would probably be one, the acting.
Definitely.
I think that'll just turn people off right away. And then I think that they jump around to places, like they do a quest on this place and a quest in that place. There's not like a timeline of when and like, or like a map of where they're going and what they're doing. Like sometimes you kind of forget what they're doing.
To be fair,
Like it's
the
not
original
always
was
told that
kind of
they're
like
going
that.
to. Yeah, but I think for a audience that hasn't seen it and is not as young, maybe it would help to lay out what their mission is a little better.
Well, I think part of the reason that worked in the original was because their goal was just get to the North Pole, and every time they stopped randomly, it was because Aang wanted to do some dumb shit for fun.
Yeah,
But now they just stop randomly for no reason. Like, why are you stopping? You know, because he doesn't care about fun.
yeah. Well, it's usually to like help some group or something. Yeah, but
Do you have anything, Bert?
No.
Can I say something that I was... This was so troll, but I think it actually ended up working out and was a great scene. Bert, they moved it to season 1. I'm not sure why, but I'm glad it was there. They have the secret tunnel song.
I remember us talking about that too.
Yeah, so that was
Yeah,
super
it is.
super exciting. But as this scene was happening, I was sitting there watching it. I was like, yeah, secret tunnel, that was awesome. And then after I like came back to reality and started focusing on the show again, I was like, wait a minute. I flashed back in my mind to when we were talking about the Avatar show and how they're like, we want this to appeal to Game of Thrones fans. And then I like came, like That's So Raven, where you come back from your vision.
Yeah, then, you snap back to
then
reality.
I came back to reality after I thought about that Game of Thrones thing, started looking at the screen, and I was like, the tunnel of love. Only Sokka and Katara are here.
No.
What's going to happen?
That does happen.
Like,
vile.
Oh my god, no. They wouldn't.
Wait a minute. Wait.
Yeah, it's like that thing. No.
Punisher
wait. That is what it was, pretty much. But I actually thought that was one of the better scenes. Like, that's a really good scene of the show between Sokka and Katara there.
Yeah, it is.
So it worked out. And the Badger Mole looks awesome.
That's cool.
Badger Mole did look good.
Cool stuff.
Yeah. All right. I think that's about it for the Avatar stuff. We can kind of give, I can give
just a general view, what we think of it
on the show. Yeah. I'd probably give it like a 6, maybe a low 7, high 6. I think it's good.
Yeah. I think for me, it's probably a 6 exactly. Because I think it's like passable, but I don't think I would ever rewatch it, and I'll probably forget about it.
Yeah. It did enough to earn a second season in my book. Like, I would watch season 2.
I would watch season 2, yeah, but in no case would I ever tell someone watch this first. Like, watch the original first and then watch this, because
it adds to it, yeah.
Don't spoil the god tier original by watching this one that's just all right.
Yeah, and I think
the first one is such a good experience.
Yeah, this was like it just added to the original. Like, it made my experience with the original more enjoyable, I think. Not necessarily because this was amazing.
I do think that just because we didn't mention it, all the fights are really good.
That's good.
At least that I've
the
seen
fighting
so far.
and all the bending is good.
Does the earthbending look solid?
Except the boomy scene.
I remember it. Okay.
I think that's the only bad one.
For the most part, look pretty good.
Yeah, big fan of the fights, but yeah, like I said, it's good. Like, it's good enough, but I think it's probably one of those things where, like, if you already like Avatar, you'll like it, or otherwise it's just kind of whatever.
Yeah. It won't get you into it.
Yeah, I don't think it'll get you. Yeah,
you'll enjoy it.
I don't think it'll get you into the series or the franchise.
And really, it's worth watching just for the extra scenes, and then being like, let me just attach these extra scenes to the original show, and then forget the old new stuff.
Yeah. Okay. I think we're good with that. You guys want to move on to HellDivers now?
Liberty.
I'm pretty sure
Democracy.
that I have hot takes here.
Let's give our initial thoughts. We've all played like 30 hours, probably close to it.
It's not
It's
30
like 22
hours.
probably. I can check.
Oh yeah, I guess it's really not that, because you gotta sit through loading screens forever. Not even loading screens.
Not anymore.
Yeah. Okay, so what are your guys' like initial thoughts? How do you like the game? What do you think? Are you going to continue to play?
26 hours, but probably like 6 of them are waiting in queue.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would say probably. I have 27.
Yeah, I think I'm at like the same numbers you guys.
Initial thoughts?
I think the game is awesome when it works, which is probably what you were going to say.
I agree. Well,
yeah.
Not exactly.
I think that the loop is really fun. Like, I haven't played a game in a while where I just like doing the same thing over and over again with like slight variation here and there that is enough to keep me engaged.
And the variation, I think, comes from the people you play with and just the encounters that happen.
Yeah,
not
like
so much the objectives.
Definitely,
like the objectives are largely the same.
It's a social game.
To get to point A to point B, it's a nightmare in of itself.
Yeah.
Like, they call you HellDivers for a reason.
Yeah, that part of it, I definitely agree. It's like, it's hard. Like, it's a difficult game when you get to the higher difficulties. and stuff. Like, it's tough.
It can be stupid easy if you want it to be, but it's not fun.
It's not. Yeah, it's more fun when you're struggling and not sure if you're going to be able to win.
And you're diving out of explosions and running for your life.
Yeah, it's definitely at its best when you are struggling.
Yeah, I agree with that.
You need to have your good group of people with you. If you played solo, it's like impossible, I would think, to have fun. You have to have at least 3 people, 2 maybe at lower difficulties.
I think it could be fun with randoms if they're using mics.
It could be.
Yeah, I've seen mixed things about the matchmaking. Some people say they have good experiences. Some people say they have. Like,
I mean, it's like any game where some are good, some are bad. You never know who you're gonna get.
That's one thing maybe we should try.
Yeah, I'm curious to try it and see how it works.
Yeah,
because if it's like peak Overwatch 1, like chats were fun.
Overwatch was good actually for chatting at the beginning. I had a lot of people that I talked to on Overwatch. It didn't get up there with like, Black Ops 1, 2 or Modern Warfare 2, World at War, but Overwatch was still pretty good, or Halo was really good. You would meet some
solid people occasionally through Overwatch.
Yeah. And it was pretty common. You could usually meet like 1 or 2 good people a day if you played for a few hours.
Yeah, you sat down, you join, you're like, all right, guys, let's win some games. Even if you lose, you're like, you run it back, and then you hit that yes button. You want to stay as a group.
Yeah. But here's the thing about HellDivers. I actually think its strength is... Yeah, the gameplay is really good, but I think its main strength comes from like the large amount of different unlockables it has. Like, there's so many different airstrikes and call-ins and weapon unlock things. There's no collectibles.
In game there is.
What are you talking about?
Like in the match. You have to collect the research.
Samples.
Oh, those aren't collectibles, though. Those are like resource gathering.
Yeah, it's like resources, yeah.
But
yeah, you're right.
I think its strength definitely comes from the large amount of unlocks. So it's like, because if like, I don't know, maybe it's just me, but like when we played that first time and I couldn't unlock shit, I was like, I almost feel like it kind of sucks to play because there's no point.
You feel like you're fighting for your life and there's no progression.
Yeah, that was because the game wasn't working.
No, I know, but that's why I'm saying that I think its large amount of unlocks really is a strength to it, because then you can do this same thing over and over again, because then you get to try out this new thing on the next time.
And there's different play styles. Like, you can play like a bunker way, or you can run and gun it.
Yeah, you can change up your play style depending on like the drops that you call in and stuff like that. And you do feel like as you get better, your equipment gets better and your drops get better. So like you become better.
Yeah, I agree. Just saying, like, just because I feel like from what I've seen of HellDivers, like what people say about it, I feel like people are always like, yeah, the moment-to-moment gameplay is fun, and that's its main thing. And I was like, it is, yeah, I agree with that, but I think that's because of the unlocks. And most of them are good. There are some bad ones, but they're usually good.
Yeah. I think another strength that it has is it can be a strength, is like the community potential of it. Like,
the internet is blowing up.
Yeah, that part of it is kind of cool because the community kind of makes the lore and makes like the story progress. So like the developers,
you're on TikTok and people are still role playing like they're in game.
Yeah,
in the comment section,
which is kind of cool because like you get the world or like the galaxy map and it shows like all the planets that you have under your control, and you as a community playing the game are completely responsible for that. So like everybody that is fighting is actually fighting the same battle, just on a huge scale, which is pretty cool.
That will be really cool once the stats work.
Yeah.
So when you do missions and stuff, a successful mission gives you like it's a fraction of a percentage, but enough of them adds up.
Yeah,
and
when
it
you
actually
got
impacts the world map.
Yeah, when you've got 100,000 guys playing on a world, like that world obviously is going to have an advantage, and that one gets like liberated or defended more quickly or less quickly or whatever.
Yeah, I agree.
And it's cool because then you'll see people on the internet like say, "Hey, we need support on this planet," and then you'll see like the percentage start to go up on it.
I love the memes of people. just the memes are hilarious. Freaking like the
They are
Halo
good.
Wars one, or like
Mm-hmm.
whatever years of hell. That's how long
Yeah.
it took us to get whatever planet is the current planet back.
Yeah.
Yeah, people are getting into it out there.
Or have you seen the Avatar ones where they're like, everything changed when the automatons attacked?
Yeah,
Yeah.
actually, I have.
The developer
That's a
said
good
that
one.
the community will drive the story forward. Like there'll be like an overarching kind of narrative thing that's going on in the background, and the community will kind of drive that. So like they have a general idea of how it's going to go because they think that that's what the community will do. But it could possibly change. Like if for some reason the community doesn't like push a certain side or lets some side like completely take over, like that's totally possible too. So
They're
It'll
just
be
going to
interesting.
give you better rewards for doing what they want.
Do you think if Super Earth gets attacked, they'll just shut down the servers?
that would be crazy.
That would be pretty
you
funny.
gotta defend the game if you want to keep playing it.
I feel like if that happened, like if Super Earth actually did get attacked, like they made it to Super Earth, they would do some kind of a large scale event where like everyone's fighting on Super Earth now.
Yeah.
Well, they said they said they do want to start adding events later on, and all the updates and things are going to be free.
Well, because this game, we should probably mention, was not expecting to blow up the way it did.
Well, that's the thing, man. This year,
And I think that went into a lot of our early problems with it.
this
Like with the connection issues.
this
Yeah.
year is like the year of games coming out of nowhere. Like Pow World popped off in January. HellDivers is popping off in February.
Yeah.
This is a
There's something else too. I can't remember.
there was
Lethal Company.
what was the Lethal
Or
Company.
was that last year?
That might have been last year actually, but this really is the year of like the out of nowhere developers just absolutely humiliating like the big companies. Like Pow World
Yeah.
humiliates Pokemon. Everyone's saying HellDivers humiliates Halo.
yeah. Oh,
Yeah, it absolutely shocks the industry.
yeah, and we should say $40 price tag, which is really good. It's not a full
And
price
you can
game.
passively earn the paid for in-game currency.
That's
Yeah.
true.
You just look around.
Guys, for the price of a single armor set in Halo, you could get HellDivers' entire game.
Yeah,
And that'll pass if you play it.
yeah, that's true. And they have a pretty extensive battle pass, like right off the jump. That's like free.
Yeah, the free one's
And the
actually
paid
good. It's
store.
not just filler stuff.
Yeah, and
Yeah,
there's
that's
actually
true.
good like things worth getting in it. Like they do help, and they make you stronger
The battle
and better.
pass is how you upgrade your character. And there isn't really much character upgrades. Except like guns.
I would
and,
say
like,
the
maybe some armor.
actual upgrades to like your just stats or the ship upgrades that you use samples for.
Yeah.
Which is not connected to the battle pass, which is nice.
Yes. The samples are
You gather
Exclusively
them
found
in
in the world.
missions.
Yeah.
yeah. You have to find them in like different like research outposts, or you can find them.
Sometimes it's just a plant.
Yeah. It's just look around.
But one thing, I feel like people just freaking ignore this. Like, there are so many issues with the game, and don't tell me, oh, it doesn't happen to me. I don't care. It happens to me.
No.
I've looked it up online. It happens to a lot of people. So it
I
doesn't
was gonna
matter that
say-
it only happens. Doesn't happen to you.
It's weird. I feel like it's weird how many problems you've had compared to me.
And me. I haven't had barely
Yeah, you
any.
guys had both had. I've crashed, I think, maybe 2 times while playing this game.
I've
I
never
don't think I've ever
crashed,
crashed.
but I just have every other problem in the world.
Yeah.
You want
The
to
only-
elaborate?
Well, let me do mine first since my list is pretty short. I haven't had like any issues. I haven't never disconnected. I've had you guys disconnect from my games, but I've never crashed. The only problem I had was in the first couple weeks was when, or the first week was when the servers were like always at capacity. So like I had to wait a freaking hour to get into the game.
Yeah, and that resulted in like when you would try to buy something from the shop, it wouldn't go through.
Yeah.
You'd have to log out and log back in.
But then
or
you get stuck
you
in the
could
queue.
finagle it.
Yeah.
Yeah, or you could finagle it if you kept trying to buy it, and sometimes you'd get lucky and it would go through.
Or sometimes
Yeah,
you
I
waste
did-
your points on the wrong thing.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
did
or some-
have I did have that issue. So that one was super
See, but,
annoying.
like
But it only lasted for like 2 days and then it
Those
was
were pretty.
fixed.
They were fixed quickly.
Yeah, and as far as issues, I actually don't have a problem with the server queue and the random disconnects, because like that was caused by more people playing than intended. It wasn't caused by like the game not being made well.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was something they were not prepared for.
Yeah, so I was
all.
like, all right, whatever. It's only been a couple days, and then they fixed it. But the problems that do piss me off, very regularly my sound cuts out. Very regularly my controller stops working, because I like to use a controller on that. I mean, people will hate me because it's a shooter, but I just like to sit back. Very regularly my controller disconnects. I cannot play a difficulty higher than easy. It just will not unlock. No matter how many easy missions I play, it doesn't care.
Even if you're hosting.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So,
which is pretty bad.
I can never play this game alone. I have to have someone do a mission for me unless I want to play on baby mode.
Yeah.
It's just so
Yeah, that's
goddamn
weird.
annoying that it's like, it's almost to the point, like sometimes I'm playing it, it's like, I don't even want to play because it's just like, every step of the way I'm getting bodied.
It's more work than it's worth.
Yeah, definitely at times. For you, at least. For sure.
I've had hardly any problems. My
Yeah,
network
me neither.
problems, I think, are pretty much because of the school that I'm at.
There was that day that like they did some kind of update and like half of the freaking users got like the black screen on launch, and we all got that.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah, I forgot
we
about
did get
that. That was like
Yeah.
a day thing.
Yeah, it lasted one night. I mean, it was upsetting because we're like, let's play tonight. Nope. All right.
Yeah, the one night we all had our free schedules.
Yeah, and we're like, guess we can't play tonight.
Yeah.
It sucks because I want to have fun, but it like, fuck, it just
It's not
keeps
letting you.
bodying me. And like my
Yeah.
stuff isn't server issues, which is what pisses me off even more.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, I get random disconnects sometimes, which is a little annoying, but it just is so annoying. Like, and I'm not saying like, oh, it's a shitty game, don't get it, but I just think that it should be listed as an early access game is basically the main thing.
Give it a month or two, then buy it, or
You can buy it now if like maybe you won't have as many problems as me, or maybe you'll be more willing to deal with them. But I just think it should be listed as early access, so I could be like, all right, let me read what freaking is wrong with it
Yeah.
before
Yeah.
I buy it.
but it's weird because I don't know. I haven't had any problems that's made me not want to play the game.
Yeah, me
So
neither.
it's just I mean, like, to each their own. Like, take your
Yeah, it's a
chances, I
gamble.
think,
It's a
is the
dice
word.
roll.
Be
You don't know.
cautioned.
Yeah.
With exactly, like, yeah, like you could go well, could go bad. Like I said, like I'm not complaining like this game's shit. I'm just saying
If it works for you, it's a good game.
Yeah, I'm just saying put an early access label on it so people know.
Yeah, maybe that would work.
Yeah.
What other thoughts do you guys have? Anything? I think I pretty much said everything I wanted to.
The dialogue in game is pretty funny.
It's Sasuke
Very the Sasuke is a voice actor in the game.
or Spider-Man
Oh, yeah.
or Peter Parker or Smoke.
Take your pick.
Yeah.
And I find the dialogue that the people say pretty funny. It's like
You want a cup of liberty?
very like capitalism, liberty, democracy.
Yeah.
Very hoorah feeling.
What is
Yeah.
it when you get like your leg broken or something and they're like my libertying leg or something like that?
Yeah.
Or my liberty forsaken leg.
Yeah.
Yeah, you throw a grenade and it's like have a cup of tea
Liberty.
or something, they say. Oh yeah, they have a cup of liberty.
Yeah.
It's definitely
Or they
funny.
just yell, for democracy.
They play into what they know what they are and they're playing into it.
Everyone
Yeah,
uses
and they go-
Sasuke's voice though, I bet.
Like you open the game and the first thing you see is a propaganda ad.
But it's
yeah,
fun.
it's pretty good.
It's nice.
It is fun,
Yeah,
yeah.
it's all fun and you get at least I get into it and it's fun to like role play
Yeah,
as your soldier when you're
yeah.
getting exploded
You know
around
exactly.
and you're like,
You know it's a good game when it makes you want to role play. And I'm not a big role player, but it like you
Yeah,
just
me
want
neither.
to role play when you're playing it.
Yeah, we start talking like we're HellDivers in the freaking Super Earth army. It's fun.
you're like, all right, boys, load up. We're dropping down to kill some automatons.
And
Yeah.
that's Bert's new theme song is the dropping
Like-
song.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The mechanical menace. Time to spread
Sing
some
it every
liberty.
time.
And bring democracy
Go
to
protect
these robots.
stockholder interest.
True.
Yeah.
I also, just because I'm back on issues again, because I thought of another one. I have this issue sometimes where I can't select my freaking like loadout in the loadout menu.
Oh yeah.
That also
You have to
happens
back
to
out
me
and go back
sometimes.
in.
Yeah, it's so freaking annoying.
Yeah, that is annoying, and then we're not
But
even
I
the ones
wonder how
dealing
much
with
of
it.
your problems come from a control. Not saying that they're unexpected.
But he has a controller and he doesn't have them.
That's true. Yeah.
Plus, it's a PlayStation game. It should be made originally
Yeah, I'm not dismissing
for
the
controller.
controllers. Like there shouldn't be problems, but I was wondering if maybe because internally it's switching, because I know sometimes with some games I have to unplug my keyboard.
I don't know, but
to use my controller,
it's
right?
only HellDivers that I have these issues with.
Yeah, then it's probably
Yeah.
it is the game.
Like, I play Halo with a controller all the time. No, it never happens. I mean, Halo crashes sometimes, but my controller doesn't
It's a different
disconnect.
problem.
Yeah,
Yeah, that is. That's annoying to deal with.
yeah. All right. I don't actually have anything else really to say.
I think that I don't know. Like, what is our hardest one we've succeeded? Is it hard?
Yeah, I think so. I don't think we've ever completed an extreme.
Yeah, so we're like in the middle of the difficulties, honestly. Like, we probably haven't even seen some things.
We haven't even seen all the enemies yet, I'm sure.
Yeah, probably not. I cannot imagine doing a hell dive. That's the hardest difficulty. Yeah. I don't even know what that would be like.
The enemies actually look pretty good, though.
They do, and there's a lot of variety.
Yeah.
Yeah, and there's weak points, and they're...
Oh man, you
They
got to
actually-
think
and they-
to actually
There's two
kill
main
these
types.
things.
There's automatons, and then what are the bugs?
Oh my
Terminids.
god. I don't.
Terminids, and they behave differently depending on like which ones they are.
Yeah.
I would like to know. I wish we had more people that actually watch this so I could see what they say, but whatever. I wonder if I just have not discovered the right weapons for the job, or if it just doesn't exist and this is always freaking awful to do. The rhinos suck.
Yeah, they are so annoying.
Like the big
to kill.
armored ones. They have a name.
They
I
charge
don't know
you.
what they're called.
I don't.
Yeah, that's not their name.
Like
They're not called rhinos.
whatever. But everyone would be like, oh, you shoot them in the back. Yeah, but it takes like multiple clips in their weak spot to kill them.
Yeah, it takes almost all of your ammo.
Yeah, and that's
Our
if
best
you're
strategy
only
is for one of us to die and hopefully land on it.
yeah. It takes all of your ammo, and that's assuming you like barely missed.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And that's also
Those
assuming
fuckers
you're
are
fighting
tough.
only that, and you don't have to shoot other things.
And you have full ammo when you're starting to shoot it.
Yeah, and it's like maybe there's a weapon that is for them. Like I tried a rocket that said it was anti-armor. It didn't do anything. It didn't even like you know how sometimes it break like you can break the armor. I was like first I was like it'll kill it. Like it's a one-shot disposable rocket. It's gotta. I shot it and it didn't.
Anti-tank for God's
Yeah,
sake.
it didn't kill it, and I was like okay, it didn't kill it. Maybe I made a hole in its armor so at least the weak spot's easier. Nothing. It was useless.
Yeah.
I remember that was funny.
I never
died.
using that thing again. That's probably the only thing that I've unlocked that I've been like, wow, that was trash, and I'll never use it again.
Yeah, that's a pretty bad one. I told you that though when you got it.
Told me
It
after.
sounded bad. 1 use minute or 2 minute cooldown or whatever.
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
unfortunate.
You
But
live and learn when you're fighting for democracy.
overall, though, it's a good game. It just, I hope they fix the things, and also, at least for me, I can see myself getting bored of this in like a few weeks. I hope they add more mission types and more maps.
Yeah, long term it needs more variety.
Yeah. I hope they add stuff to it like relatively quickly. But we'll see.
They have a community, so I think they're kind of encouraged to.
Yeah.
At least for now.
Well, right now it's the hip game. Like, it's the best selling PlayStation game on Steam ever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it'll be cool. It'll be cool to watch it like change and grow, and
I hope
hopefully
it does good because I'm enjoying this game. And
Yeah,
I
me
don't
too.
really haven't enjoyed a game in a while.
Yeah. What would you guys give it as far as like a scoring out of 10?
7 or 8.
That's hard to say. Honestly, I'd give it like a 5 because I don't feel like it's done yet. I think it's really fun, but I don't think it's done yet.
Yeah, I'm going off of my personal experience.
Yeah,
I've enjoyed the game a lot.
I think I'm more with Bert. Yeah, I think I'd give it like a 7 or an 8.
That's crazy.
Probably
so
a 7.
You put it on the same level of like Spider-Man and Hogwarts Legacy?
I mean, Spider-Man was a 9 for me.
So far, yeah.
Hogwarts Legacy was probably a 9. This I'd probably give it a 7.
Yeah, I would have Hogwarts Legacy as a 9.
So my
8 or
scale
9
from
for
7
sure.
to 9, that's like a pretty big difference.
You said 8. You just said 8 for it.
I said
said for
7 or
Hogwarts.
8, but
No, not you, Bert.
I said 7 or 8, but I was leaning more 7.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, it's fun.
If you have the time and you have the funds and you're looking for a new multiplayer game, it kind of feels like Left 4 Dead.
No, it doesn't. What?
No, that
You
doesn't.
ever played Left 4 Dead?
Yeah, I don't know. It reminds me of it in the sense with like the teammates and like the group work that's required.
You definitely have
this
to have
game
good
requires
teamwork.
Anything,
teamwork.
it's Deep Rock Galactic.
I
Yeah,
didn't
that's a
play enough of
better.
that game.
That's a
I
better
played it
comparison.
briefly.
Deep Rock also rocks, so if you're more into dwarves than Space Warriors, get that instead. It's pretty much the same thing.
Yeah. All right, cool. I think that pretty much wraps us up then, unless you guys have any other like final thoughts.
I'm good.
Ended up being a shorter episode.
Yeah, that's okay. Our last one was super long.
Balances out.
Yeah. All right then. Well, keep listening, keep interacting, and
And keep it salty.
yep, we'll see you guys next time.
See ya.